Lying at home, but hooping in my mind. What's up, everyone? I am King James, the guy who dreams of basketball 24/7. Subscribe to the channel, and let's level up together. Karl-Anthony Towns said this when his team fell behind 0-2. Winning 2 straight is just as fast as losing 2. At first, that might sound like just a throwaway line, but it actually reflects experience and perspective. Remember last year's Western Conference semis? The Timberwolves went up 2-0 early on the road against the Nuggets. Looked like they had the defending champs on the ropes, but that series still went to Game 7. Bottom line, in tightly matched series, the scoreboard doesn't always tell the full story. The real difference makers? In-game adjustments and a whole lot of randomness. That's exactly what the Knicks executed in Game 3, details and timely changes. Nobody expected Coach Thibodeau, known for sticking to his guns, to shake things up in the playoffs. But that's what he did, extending the rotation and unleashing his bench. And Cat? After being slammed by Kendrick Perkins pregame for being too soft, he flipped the narrative. With Brunson in foul trouble and on the bench, Towns exploded for 20 points and 8 rebounds in a single quarter, leading a massive comeback. In a way, Game 3 brought this series, and maybe the entire East Finals, back to life. So what went down in this chess match? Looking at the starting lineups, Thibs replaced Josh Hart with Mitchell Robinson to double down on size, going full Twin Towers. It was the first time all season they rolled out that lineup. Visually, this version of the Knicks looked like a remix of last year's Timberwolves, huge inside presence, less spacing, but overwhelming on defense and on the glass. Watch this play. Siakam drives baseline and beats Towns, but the Knicks rotate perfectly. Robinson covers the top, Bridges chases from the corner, and OG flies in for a monster block on his former Raptors teammate. Within 5 minutes, the Knicks lock down the Pacers to just 1 for 5 in the paint. That's impact. But hey, if Thibs can adjust, so can Rick Carlisle. Carlisle counters with a small ball lineup, Halliburton, McConnell, and Ben Shepherd. A 3-guard set built for speed. Check out this sequence. Robinson goes up for a lob, Turner denies him at the rim, Pacers sprint in transition, and Halliburton finds Shepherd in the corner for a clean triple. It's fast, it's fluid, classic Indiana basketball. F1 racing is huge in that state, and the Pacers play the same way, full throttle. With space and pace opened up, Carlisle went bolder, even throwing out a hockey-style 5-in, 5-out substitution in the second quarter, a rare sight in the playoffs. Tactically, Carlisle turned up the heat on Brunson. He exploited Robinson's lack of shooting by doubling hard, and kept rotating different role players like Toppin and Nembhard to attack Brunson in mismatches. The result? Brunson went scoreless in the second quarter, shot 0 for 3, and picked up his 3rd foul. Right before halftime, Halliburton read a cross-court pass from Hart, jumped the lane, and took it coast to coast for a slam. Pacers led by 20 at the half, up 2-0 in the series, and already had 1 foot in the finals. But the Knicks weren't going out like that. Thibs made the boldest move of his coaching career, benched all his stars, Towns, Brunson, OG, and Bridges, and set out a bench unit of Robinson, Hart, Miles McBride, Shammond, and DeLon Wright. Yup. Shammond and Wright had played like 5 minutes a game in the playoffs. This was high risk, but it paid off. With fresh legs and relentless defense, the Knicks started stringing together stops and fast breaks. The Pacers lost their offensive rhythm, especially with Brunson out and no clear playmaker left on the floor. Momentum flipped. Knicks cut it to single digits. Then, the fourth quarter happened, and Towns took over. 20 points in 7 minutes. Let's break it down. First play, Hart hits him in transition, Towns fakes, drives straight into Turner, gets the bucket and the foul. Next possession, Bridges draws a double team, kicks it to Cat cutting from the top, boom. One-handed poster dunk on Nembhard, plus the N1. Then this, handoff from Hart, Cat dribbles up top, spins, fades, launches a contested 3 with Siakam and Turner flying at him, money. Crowd goes wild. Game flipped. He hit all the tough shots, But it wasn't just solo heroics. The earlier bench defense preserved his stamina, and the spacing allowed Cat to face up and go to work. It looked miraculous, but it was built on smart, calculated moves. Here's a crazy stat. Since 1997, only 2 Knicks players have scored 20-plus in a fourth quarter in the playoffs, today's Cat, and Jalen Brunson earlier this year. With 2 minutes left, Brunson came back in with 5 fouls and iced the game. Knicks won by 6, pulled off a 20-point comeback, and gave themselves a real shot at the finals. So was Thibs desperate or genius? We might never know. But the series is alive again, and that's a win for all basketball fans. After the game, S.A.M said, "We brought the energy. Everybody found their rhythm. By the way, both teams are 6-1 on the road this postseason. This series is heading for a Game 7 showdown, no doubt about it." Let's break it down. The Pacers have more offensive depth. They can initiate plays with multiple guys, not just Halliburton. That keeps pressure on at all times, half-court or fast break. The Knicks are more top-heavy. Outside of Brunson, they don't have many ball handlers. Their offense depends on getting enough possessions, winning the hustle plays. But that brings up a problem. That kind of physical play demands stamina, and Thibs is notorious for running his starters into the ground. In Games 1 and 2, the Knicks simply ran out of gas in the second half. G3 changed that. Robinson is now playing starter minutes, protecting the rim and switching onto guards. S.A.M and Wright are now real rotation guys. The bench saved the day, and let the stars breathe. This 9-man rotation might be here to stay. Some fans asked, if the Knicks traded DiVincenzo and Hartenstein for Cat, Bridges, and a healthy Robinson, why aren't they winning like last year? Good question. It's not that the team got worse, but they changed roles. DiVincenzo was Brunson's co-creator. Hartenstein acted like a passing hub. Both relieved pressure on Brunson. In contrast, Towns is an elite scorer, not a playmaker. Bridges is a defender. Robinson is a pure rebounder. So now, it's all on Brunson, unless someone else steps up. That's why he's facing way more double teams than last year. So can Cat carry this team? There's concern. With 5 minutes left in Game 3, he was visibly gassed, bent over, gasping. Worse, he started limping in the final minutes. Left knee discomfort, same knee he injured last season. He came back after just 18 games, but this is definitely a red flag. At this point in the playoffs, it's all about willpower. That reminds me of a line Jimmy Butler once said, "Cat is the most talented, Wiggins is the most blessed, and I work the hardest." Looking at this East Finals, Brunson is the hardest working. Halliburton is the most gifted. Cat? Still the most talented on the court. Can the Knicks actually pull this off? Let me know in the comments. I'm off to break down more film. Catch you next time, right here on the channel.